BTS news. Tokyo, a city that never sleeps and is always filled with flickering lights, suddenly became the center of world attention when a shocking news spread among K-pop fans. Jungkook, one of the BTS members who was serving his military service in South Korea, reportedly appeared secretly in Japan, not on a luxurious stage or a grandiose concert, but in an enigmatic silence. His unexpected appearance not only made Tokyo an uproar, but also shook the emotions of the army around the world. The reason for coming there? Not for a promotion, not for a job, but for something much more personal and heart-rending. Jungkook's presence was first noticed by some fans who coincidentally saw the figure of a man in a hat and wearing a black mask stepping at Haneda Airport. His pace was fast, his body bent slightly, as if he wanted to avoid the spotlight. Although covered with almost his entire face, his gestures are familiar to those who have followed his career for many years. One by one, blurry photos and short videos began to spread across Platform X, formerly Twitter, making the hashtag Jungkook in Tokyo trending in less than an hour. Suddenly, the Japanese army began to spread throughout the city. Some fans around the Roppongi Hills area said they saw a black car with Korean plates stop briefly at one of the five-star hotels. Although there has been no official announcement from Bigot Music or HYB labels, many believe that Jungkook is indeed there. The question is, why? Why can a military member travel abroad? And why so quietly? The answer came slowly, but hit the heart hard. A source in the Japanese entertainment industry who declined to be named revealed that Jungkook's presence in Tokyo is related to someone who means a lot in his life. Not a co-worker, not a celebrity, but an old friend who is now in critical condition. The friend, a young Korean who has lived in Tokyo for the past 5 years, is reportedly battling a serious illness at a private hospital in Shibuya. And Jungkook, who has been keeping his distance from private matters in public, decided to come to visit him in person despite the risky conditions. According to the story, Jungkook and his best friend have been friends since they were trainees. They grew up together in the rigors of the training world, strengthening each other when the world seemed too hard to deal with. But over time and differences in life paths, the two began to drift apart, although the sense of brotherhood between them never disappeared. When the news of his friend's condition reached Jungkook's ears, he reportedly immediately applied for special permission from the military to be able to go visit. This, of course, becomes remarkable because a foreign travel permit for a soldier is very rarely granted, let alone for personal reasons. The moment of the meeting took place in the silence of a heavily guarded hospital. No cameras, no fanfare. Only two friends who once shared laughter, tears, and dreams are back sitting in one space, for the first time in a very long time. According to reports by several nurses who saw the scene firsthand, Jungkook was seen sitting for a long time on the side of the bed, holding his best friend's weak hand while occasionally wiping away his tears. One of the nurses said that Jungkook didn't say much, but his eyes were filled with emotions that were hard to describe. He simply said, "I came because you saved me when I wanted to give up." The words spread to social media and immediately left the entire army speechless in grief. Many of them recalled Jungkook's difficult times early in his career, when the pressure as BTS's magne was so great. Perhaps, behind the scenes, it was this best friend who became one of the pillars of strength for him. That moment changed everything. Jungkook, who is known to be strong and full of charisma on stage, also has a fragile and loving side that is rarely seen by the public. This news made the Korean and Japanese entertainment world sympathize. A number of artists who knew Jungkook also expressed support via social media. Some of them said Jungkook's actions were a clear example of what loyalty and true friendship mean. In fact, a famous Japanese director mentioned that he was inspired to make a film about the meaning of friendship based on this story. In the midst of the bustle of Tokyo, the army began to hold joint prayers at several points in the city, hoping that Jungkook's friends could recover soon. They carried purple balloons, lilies, and small letters containing messages of love and strength. Some fans even held a singing event in Yoyogi Park, performing BTS songs such as Spring Day and Still With You as a symbol of solidarity. But Jungkook's journey isn't just about personal visits. While that was the main focus, her arrival also sparked a public discussion about the pressures idols feel and how friendship can be a savior in the dark. Many psychologists and cultural observers consider Jungkook's courage to take this step to be proof that human beings, whoever they are, still need meaningful relationships to survive. Bigot Music finally issued an official statement 3 days after the news spread. In their statement, they confirmed that Jungkook obtained special permission from the South Korean military to make a personal visit to Japan. They asked the public to respect the privacy of Jungkook and his companions and to thank them for the support and love from the army around the world. This statement certainly confirms that Jungkook's arrival is not a covert act without permission as previously rumored. Quite the contrary, he had gone through a legitimate procedure in order to be able to meet someone who was very important to him. This openness was warmly welcomed by the fans and also added to the public's respect for Jungkook's integrity as an artist and human being. When Jungkook finally left Tokyo and returned to Korea, hundreds of soldiers escorted him from a distance. They did not try to get close. There were no screams, only silence, and tears fell in silence. A caption appeared on one of the fan-made posters, "Since you came for her, we are even more convinced that you are our true love." This story will not be quickly forgotten. Not because of his popularity, not because of his fame, but because of the sincerity shown in action. Jungkook proved that even in the glittering world of entertainment, there is still room for the most basic of human values: love, friendship, and the courage to be present in times of need. Now, millions of soldiers around the world have one more reason to love Jungkook, not just as an idol, but as a loving human being. And Tokyo will forever remember the day when it was a silent witness to an encounter that not only shook the heart, but touched the soul of anyone who heard it. After Jungkook returned to South Korea, the mood of the army around the world has not subsided. They are still immersed in the deep emotions that the story of the meeting brings. Many say that what Jungkook did was not just a personal act, but a very powerful statement that true love does not always have to be announced to the world, but simply felt in silence and proven through real actions. The South Korean media began to highlight the emotional side of the trip, not as a scandal, but as a vivid example of how an artist remains human, still has desires and tastes, and still maintains his personal relationships despite the world's demands for perfection. Jungkook never spoke directly to the media about this. He didn't post anything on Weverse, didn't write letters, didn't post clues on social media, and that's exactly what makes it all feel so genuine. Some of the older soldiers recalled the early days of BTS and attributed Jungkook's actions to the lyrics they had heard. The songs Magic Shop and The Truth Untold are again being discussed because they are considered to reflect Jungkook's gentle, loyal, and loving side. A fan from Brazil even created a thread on X about the parallels between Jungkook's solo songs and his best friend's story, and the thread went viral overnight, read by more than 2 million people.